Okay, man. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's been a minute since we've done a little sit down formal live, man. But all praises to the Most High that there's things that are happening in the in the realm, in the spirit realm, and in the physical realm that are prompting uh, movement in Yasharallah. And for those that don't know what Yasharallah is, those are the children of Israel. So, without any further ado, before I even get started, I want to get in the right frequency. I want to get in the right vibe, and the right vibe that we go with is the Spirit of the Most High, right? The Holy Spirit that be bestowed upon us, so that we can put out an informative lesson. Okay. As you can see, it says Kyrie is being thrown under the bus. So uh, there's nobody standing up for Kyrie. But most of all, there ain't nobody standing up for their people. And most of all, there ain't nobody standing up for the Most High. But we stand up for the Most High. We stand up for our people, and we got Kyrie's back. So without further ado, we want to say, Kohalal, Abadawa Yahweh. Bahashim Hamashiach Mamalaka the one Yahweh Shai. Barakata. Barakata Yahweh. Barakata Yahweh Shai. Barakata Rokakadash. And Barakata the Bar. Give us the blessing on this word and let's get it out to our people. All praises. Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Barakata. All right, man. So let's do this thing, man. I mean, so many thoughts that go by through my head, man. And we're gonna try to be careful because we don't want our channel to be taken out, man. Because we do this for the love of our people, right? We love thy neighbor, right? And so, but we want to inform them, man. We want to inform, especially those that are not in the know, because the ones that are in the know, they see everything that's going on. They see that poor Kyrie is being thrown up under the bus and nobody's standing up. But big ups to Kyrie, man. If by the grace of God, by the powers that be, the ultimate power of the universe allows for this small platform that we have that's steadily growing. But if for some reason that Kyrie was to get a hold of this word, which is representative of the word of the Most High, that's what we base all our speech on. Um, we wanted to tell Kyrie that we got your back. And I know all of Yasharallah got your back. And we're going to ask you to stand strong and don't back down. And you haven't. And I know that he's had to budge a little bit because, he still got to feed his family. He still got to, hold on, brother Yashar coming.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, brother Yashar. Kahala Yahweh.
Shalom, Mark.
Barakatah. All right, so we kind of just like really, lending support and
Hey, Salakia.
Yeah, what's
I
up?
just have to say this before you do get started.
We start.
Make sure you be careful what you say. They just cut IUIC's live stream.
I already just said that.
Con. All right.
I just said that we're going to protect the channel because the channel is for the masses, man. We want this to reach the masses, and if by any chance that this would ever get to the ears of Kyrie Irving, we want to show him that he has people that are behind him and backing him up. So what is the Kyrie factor, right? What is the Kanye factor, right? These brothers may not be, or maybe, we don't know their personal life. We don't know how much studying they're doing. We don't know how far they've gone in this truth. but there's evidence showing that they know enough to say the things that they're saying, whether it be blatant or subliminal. And we know that Kyrie wasn't trying to be as blatant as he could, but we're peeping game. See, Yasharalah's peeping game. All right, we already see what was going on, and just know that we're gonna speak in the sense that Yasharallah is picking up, and hopefully the lost sheep of Israel that haven't woken up yet, and we feel that we're getting close to that number because all these things are showing signs that we're getting to that tail end. So we're hoping that there's just a few more to wake up and others start being game. But we're supposed to go through this great awakening, right? And so these are the little things that may trigger that great awakening, right? All praises to the Most High. So let's start with John 8:32. Somebody get that for me.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 8, 2.
32. What? 8 and 32?
And you truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Man, so know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. See, the problem that's going on, all right, and where you see in the thumbnail it says the Kyrie factor, right? We'll call it the Kanye factor. We'll call it any factor that brothers that have gained knowledge of the truth that are on a higher echelon, right? That have a bigger platform to stand on, that are more noticeable, and they have been able to say the things that they've saying, that that the blacks, Latinos, and indigenous are the children of Israel. I mean, first of all, let the truth shall set you free, right? Right? So here's the factor. The factor is whether it's positive affirmations, positive exposure, or negative exposure, right? Any exposure is good exposure, right? Now, here's where where the people that are not in the know have to weigh it out, right? So I feel that I think the problem is that we're doing our homework, right? We're hitting the books, we're figuring things out, right? And we're backing up our talk, not only scripturally but archaeologically, through historical documents, through the original manuscripts, and we're backing up this word, right? And we're backing up what we say. I think the problem lies is that through this exposure, things are getting exposed, right? Things that the other side may not want exposed, right? Things that maybe themselves they can't go to the historicity of their culture and back things up and find evidence that there's such people, right? And today we're going to go through some precepts and through some things that have been written prior to a brother bringing out the Hebrews to Negros documentaries, right? And you know what? Let's deal with what anti-Semitic is, right? We're going to go into the etymology of that word. We're going to go into the understanding what anti-Semitic is, right? And I've seen some of the Hebrews to Negroes documentaries, and basically what's being said are things that have happened, facts, historicity, documents, even if you to say, oh, this so-called person said this in a speech, it happened in history. So if it's being put out there, if it's just information, first of all, how is it being anti-Semitic, right? So, hold on, waiting on, I'm trying to get Matt back in here. Matazak, Mighty Matazak is dealing with connection issues. But yeah, so, you know, information is just information. And so what Kyrie did was further want to spread some information, right? Now, the other side may want to call it disinformation, right? So we have to weigh out what is factual information, what is credible information, and what is discredited information, disinformation, right? So, you know, nowadays you got the disinformation police, and I want to know where they get their basis for calling anything disinformation. Do you have a panel of historians? Do you have a slew of history, documents, archaeology, and all these things to back up your claims that what we're putting out is disinformation? So whether it was disinformation or information or accurate information, it was just information being put forth. It was there for people to review, analyze, and take it for a grain of salt and see what it was bringing up. If it bring upliftment and gave some hope to a group, to a people group, right? Then what's the wrong in that, right? So I want to try to talk in like this politically correct, seeing if our rights are really allowed to us, right? We should, you know, it seems like this time and day that they want to kind of bend the rules to the laws that were established in this land anyway, right? Which the rules were applied in the amendments to whether be able to have free speech, free thought. And what we're seeing is that this may not be the case at this moment. And I peeped an interview by Jalen Rose today on ESPN as well. And he said, you know, freedom of speech ain't actually free. Now, I think that he was trying to talk subliminally, but he had to be in his correctness because he works for the man, right? He works for the man that's telling you what to put out and what not to put out. Now, here's where the problem is. Here's the Kyrie factor. That Kyrie wants to put out information, and he didn't get the authorization from Maza to be able to put out such information. You know, he didn't get it cleared through his bosses because despite Kyrie is a millionaire, he's still working a slave master system that's going on with all sports, whether you like to see it or not, because these are performers and they have to perform for the audience, but at the same time, they have to perform for their prospective owners that are putting out a product, and it's what they're called and they're paid to do. Now, yeah, you know, the price of a slave is a lot higher now than it used to be. You know what I mean? Now you could get 30 mil, 40 mil, 80 mil, 100 mil, you know, on a slave. But guess what? You making that type of money, you're gonna shut up and ball, boy. That's what the consensus is, right? And that's the kind of vibe that I get. That's the kind of vibe that I get when I hear the interviews and when I hear the news media and the pressure that they put in on it. Oh, like the brother tried to eloquently explain himself, you know, without having to kiss that ass and say, I'm sorry, Maza. So he tried to say, listen, I didn't try to hurt nobody. I just put a link to a movie. You know what I mean? And I didn't make the movie, but I put the link. Of course, he found the movie to have some validity. He said it. And maybe he had to add the point that maybe he didn't agree with everything that was in the movie. But that's what it's there for. It's information for you to take with a grain of salt and analyze it. Right? But what seems to happen is that I think, and ask yourself, why is they so uptight about it? Think about it. Why are they like on an uproar for just a simple tweet of a link to something, okay, you didn't agree with, but if you think it's this information, then call it what it is. Man, this guy is just, you know, you could play him like you did Ye, right? You could play him like, no, he's a nut job. But you tell me what kind of nut job makes such calculated moves to make billions and be, if not the richest black man on the planet, you know what I mean? How does a mental case do that? You know what I mean? But you could have chalked them up, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're making it seem like, oh, Kyrie's unstable, or Kyrie doesn't know what he's talking about, or everything has to be based that. I heard Stephen A. That's a butt crack licking Negro right there, man. I feel ashamed for him, Shaq, Chuck, but we already know that Shaq and Chuck be cooning, you know, and Stephen A. being a brother from New York, you know, and so boisterous, you know, he don't got the intestinal fortitude or the intestinal fortitude to grab his cojones and say F the world, right, with his big boisterous self, right? Instead, he tried to say that, oh, Kyrie acts like he knows everything and everything has to be according to Kyrie, and he feels that he's more knowledgeable than everybody else and that we not so knowledgeable and we need to listen to him. Guess what? Many people may not think that we're knowledgeable, right? But give me that, you know what? That Timothy that says, you think you know something, you think you know, I think it's Timothy. Timothy 4:1, is it? I know it's in Timothy, man, because, you know, you may think you know what you're talking about, you know, and you may think that others don't know what they're talking about. But what I do know is that the people that are in this, the people that are searching the scriptures, right? They they're being blessed by the Most High to have that understanding. You got it up?
1 Corinthians 8:2.
Bring it up.
If any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know.
Right. Yeah. So these brothers think that they got it all figured out, and so they make it so that Kyrie's just bugging out, and they got it all figured out. But because you think you earning a good paycheck doesn't mean you got it figured out. You got it figured out in the rudiments of man, but you don't got to figure it out under the doctrines of the Most High. Okay? And see, when it ultimately comes down to is that the Most High is going to put death and destruction on all the naysayers, on all those that he did not choose. So those people are talking out the side of their neck, and they're trying to downpour Kyrie and throw him under the bus. Why? Because they want to be the house Negro. They want to kiss that butt and keep earning that check, right? And we're going to go into some precepts about that. So, in fact, you know what? Let's hit that one right now. Titus 1:11. I wasn't going to start in this manner, but let's go there, because this is what's happening.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 11. Whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake.
For filthy lucre's sake. Where would we get that word lucre? Lucrative, right? So they for their lucrative lifestyle, they rather teach you folly, right, than teach you the truth. Can you pull that up in the NLT, Yashar? If you paid attention.
What was the verse?
Titus 1:11. Read that in the NLT. So
this is the book of Titus,
chapter
1, verse 11. They must be silenced because they are turning whole families away from the truth by their false teachings. Mm-hmm. And they do it only for money.
Right. So the ones that really need to be silenced are the ones that are leading us astray. The ones that are down with their slave master, pulling the slave master mentality and teaching us folly instead of siding with the brother, having that fortitude to go up against the system. But it's the system that is in place, right? So we have to start understanding who's running the system, okay? And according to the scriptures, the Israelites are not supposed to be in charge. So again, the brother said, how can I be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from? Now we're going to stray out and say it here. We cannot be anti-Semitic against ourselves. We cannot be anti-ourselves. So let's understand what anti-Semitic means. All right. Give me Thessalonians 5:21. Okay, because you know the thing is, the media, TV, the newscasters, the powers that be, they just say stuff, and they want you to take it for face value, right? But the word teaches us that we got to prove. what we're saying. Read that.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good.
So we hold fast to what's good. And what's good? To set our people free with the truth. What's good? To teach proper doctrine. What's good? To teach the proper history of our people. Now here's where the problem lies, and I was going to get to this. The problem lies is that these people say things at face and want you to take it at face value, but they can't back shit up. They can't go to their history and say, look, this is us, right? They can't tell you, hey, look, check it out. This is us, right? They can't go to the books and say, yo, this is us. This is us, right? Right? How can they prove that, right? So I don't think, in fact, I think they know where their history goes back to, right? They know they go back to the Khazarians. They know they go back to the Polacks. They know they go back to Europe. But the descendants of these people never descended from those places. And they weren't supposed to be in charge at the moment. And we're going to go through some precepts to show you that. Okay? So, how can they justify what we're justifying in Scripture and in historicity and in archaeology? So the problem is that they don't want the truth to come out. They don't want the truth to set you free. What they want is for you to shut up, nigga, and ball. That's all they want you to do, Kyrie. That's all they wanted Colin Kaepernick to do. That's all they wanted Yeezy to do. Shut up and rap your songs about hoes and stick-ups or whatever else. Hey, you can even rap about Jesus. Right? But don't rap, or don't be rapping 12 tribes, 12 tribes, 12 tribes of Judah, right? That's what he was saying last, right? In that little snippet. Okay, so they don't want that. All right? All right, so give me Revelations 2 and 9, man. Let's go there. Let's go there. This is going to get a little heated, man, but all praises that the Most High protect the channel, protect his word, protect his people, and let's bring this out to the forefront, you know? Let's bring it up.
Is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Hold that. Hold that right there. I know thy works, thy tribulation, and thy poverty. Last I checked, the Jewish community is the most empowered community on the planet. They run the media. They run the movies. They run the music. They own and run everything that you know. Hey, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Originally from Brooklyn, New York. And I'm telling you, the Jewish run the show there, brother. I don't care. You think that you from the hoods of Brooklyn, whatever. Your hoodish ass doesn't not step into that Jewish community that's set up, that Hasidic community. I remember seeing one time that these mother suckers would come out and beat your ass to a pulp if you try to overstep your boundaries in their hood. Okay? They would just scream something out. I forgot what they used to say. They used to say some shit and they used to just yell it out, bro. And they would come out in droves. to whoop whoever's ass was out there causing problems. Okay? They stick together. They stick together. And instead of us sticking together to bring out our truths, to bring out in defense of our culture, right? They're ready and able and willing to defend their culture, right? Whether it's propagated or not, they're willing to defend that. And what they're doing defending now is that they're defending that they don't get exposed. But they're willing to defend it at all costs. And instead of us banding together and say, well, let's see how much validity there is to what this brother's saying. Is he a whack job or is he true? Right? You know, the Bible tells you, prove all things. Go search, study to show yourself approved. It instructs us in all these ways. And what we do? No. So that we can keep earning the check, so we can keep appeasing master. What we do, we throw our own peoples under the bus. And that's what, and poor Kyrie Irving, man, it must be so stressful, but he's being a martyr right now. He's really being a martyr right now for his people. And I hope that he stand fast and holds to his truth, just like he withheld when it was that vaccine time and the pressure of all that vaccine. You know, it was bigger than basketball, just like this is bigger than basketball. And he's conscious enough to know that. And I understand, you know, it's hard to give up millions and millions of dollars and probably be relegated to losing your job, to be sitting next to on the couch with Colin Kaepernick, you know, and lose it all for what you believe, right? So I thought this was a country that you could believe what you want to believe, say what you want to say, and put out what you want to put out and not have any repercussions. And he said something else interesting, man. Like, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have the interviews like readily available, but I knew the gist of what he was saying, right? And what he was saying is, man, these people getting in an uproar because there was a tidbit or something that came out in the movie that I didn't promote, he probably promoted it. He didn't want to say he was promoting it, but yeah, he was pushing it to his people so that we could check it out. It was for us. It wasn't for them. But since they're keeping tabs on us, they got a hold of, hey, wait a minute, this has got this saying this and that. And so they went up on an uproar for that little tidbit. And he was trying to say, when do you guys go on an uproar for all the atrocities that have happened to us? You know? Let's weigh it out. 300 million, even if it's an inflated number or not, of what, 6 million or so? Which, I don't know. I don't want to put out information. I don't really know the actual numbers. But I know it was, in comparison, it was a lot to a little. But nobody goes on an uproar for us. No, you nigga, you shut up and ball, nigga. That's all you gonna do. All right? You got your 30 minutes of fame or your $30 million of fame or whatever they're paying that brother. You know what I mean? But continuing with Revelations 2 and 9. Start from the beginning again.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy work and tribulation and poverty.
Hold that.
But thou art rich.
Hold that. He's telling us, I know your tribulations and your poverty. Again, These people are running everything. Where is their poverty? Okay? So
Salakia,
we're supposed to be impoverished. Go ahead, Ak, you got something to say?
yeah, this is from the British Britannica. It's the definition for ghetto. It's called. It says ghetto, formerly a street or quarter of a city, set apart as a legal enforced resident area for Jews. And we can see that in any state in this country, you could find a ghetto, and we all know what people are in those ghettos.
Right? Blacks, Latino, and reservations that they're like beyond ghettos, you know what I mean? Indigenous Native Americans. Okay? So those are the people residing in the ghettos. Those are the impoverished. But the Most High is telling you, despite you're in this condition, you're rich. Why are we rich? Because we're coming into the knowledge of who we are. And the fact that we are who we are makes us rich, because we're going to get it back twofold, just like they're going to get something twofold. But these people, there's another side to this verse. Bring it up.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Right. So it says, but I know the blasphemy. Can somebody get me the definition for blasphemy? Blasphemy.
Here's the definition of blasphemy: the act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things, profane talk.
So this is the act of offense of speaking sacrilegious about God or sacred things, profane talk. So meaning you talking ludicrous, you talking crazy against the Most High. The caucasity, and I stole that one from my brother Deacon, the caucasity, right? The caucasity of these wicked people, whoever they are, right? That are going out and saying that you, all right, man, let's play devil's advocate, man. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say we are the ones that are proclaiming that we're the Jews, or they're the ones that are proclaiming they're the Jews. Let's say the Chinese are saying they're the Jews. What does it matter? The scripture's saying that one is true and one is false. That one are the true children of Israel and the other is the synagogue of Satan. Let us be the synagogue of Satan. If we're spreading disinformation, right? That would be blasphemy, right? That would be talking sacrilegious, right? Saying that, propagating that we're the Jews. So let us be that, right? What's the problem? Right? What's the problem if we're saying that and we're false? Right? Why you got your panties in a bunch then? You don't see us freaking out because you're saying you're the Jew. You don't see us getting all bunched up. Well, because we know our truth. And you can believe your truth. Right? And let the truth set you free. Or let the truth set you in chains. Either way, let the cards fall where they may. Right? What's the big deal? So when you see people getting in an uproar about it, that's the stuff that should make you go, wait a minute. Man, people talk falsehoods all the time. Man, our government be talking crazy. I mean, Everybody be talking crazy. The lies are propagated every day, everywhere, in every walks of life. But you got a problem? I mean, would it be a problem if I said, you know what? We the Chinese. I don't think the Chinese would get in an uproar about that. I don't think if we said we're the whatever tribe outside of the 12 tribes, we could be any tribe we want except the 12 tribes of Israel. What's the problem? The problem is we've been backing up our words. And they, sometimes, I see people of that certain community out and about, and I've approached them in the stores. I won't mention any particular stores. And I've asked them, hey, what tribe you're from? Some of them can't even answer. Some of them will say Judah. Some of them will say Levi. But that's as far as the conversation goes. They can't bring a historicity to okay, I've said, okay, so how do you come to the conclusion that you're that so-called tribe? Technically, if you're a Jew, you're supposedly from the tribe of Judah. That's where the word comes from. Now let's go and examine the word Shemite, okay, or Semite, right? Because they keep bringing anti-Semitism, all right? So the word Shemite comes from Shem. So let's start analyzing all those that come from Shem, okay? And I don't want to make this very long. Already, I haven't even really gotten started. We're at 42 minutes, so I don't want to make this long and drawn out because I want this to be a viewable video that grabs people's attention and makes you think, right? So real quickly, East Indians, Elamites, came from Shem. Edomites came from Shem. The children of Israel came from Shem. So there's the children of Lot were from Shem. So there are more Shemites in the world besides the Jewish, right?
Figured out the Bible dictionary.
Bring it out, brother. Bring it out. Come on.
This is the definition for Semites. Derived from Noah's son, Shem. The term is used to identify a diverse group of ancient peoples whose languages are related, belonging to the Semitic family of languages. The world of the Semites in ancient historical times was the Fertile Crescent, the green land which begins in southern Babylonia, in the and includes Mesopotamia, Syria, and Palestine, ending at the border of Egypt. In the west, it is hemmed in by mountains, seas, and deserts. The principal Shemitic peoples of ancient times were the Akkadians, the Babylonians, and Assyrians, the Arameans, the Canaanites, the Arabs, the Ethiopians, and that's it on that.
All right, so that was the nucleus of the Shemites, right? And then from there, it those spread out to be all these other cultures. Now, how is the Most High work? He keeps his lineage, right? So from Shem, it started going down to the other lineages that were spread abroad. So what I'm trying to get at is, when we say anti-Shemite, are we being anti-East Indian? So if I was to talk about the anti-East Indians, right, it'd be correct to say I'm being anti-Semite. But see, they've coined the phrase and they've pinned it to a certain people group, and that's it. And so that's what Kyrie was saying when, how can I be anti-Semite where I know where I come from? So he identified that he came from the lineages of Shem, as did other people. So certain people cannot be anti-Semite and be against themselves. So when we're saying that we're the children of Israel, that we derive from the 12 tribes spread abroad, okay, because we're going to get to that, right? Because we already discovered that we're supposed to be empowered, right? And we're not supposed to be in the promised land, because the Most High evacuated us from that place. He made it desolate of the actual core of his children, right? The nucleus of his children, right? So they're not supposed to be there, right? And there's certain chain of events that need to happen before we can get back there. So what are people doing there, calling themselves a certain way, if they're not the original people of that land? The original people of that land, by a curse, by the Most High, right? By Yahweh, Yahweh, we call him Yahweh properly, right? But by the curse of the Most High, we're not supposed to be in that land. The scriptures say this.
Let me get the definition that is anti-Semitic today. Anti-Semitic, hostile to or prejudice against Jewish people.
But that we already showed that there's just more. There's more to the Jews when we're talking about coming from the bloodlines of Shem. Okay.
I was just putting it in a way. It's just they don't even know, but it cuts themselves. Right. Like as soon as the information comes out that who the true Jews are, it's like you guys been anti-Semitic to the true Jews this whole time.
Right. Right. But nobody's going to go to bat for us in those terms, right? Because like you said, it's already being coined to the Jewish people. Now, it's funny that they're called the Jewish, right? What happens when you put a ISH behind something? What happens when you use that suffix as a ISH, right? Childish, bluish, rubbish, whatever that ish is, it means it's something like, right? But not actual, right? We don't call ourselves Jewish. So be happy with that. We're not saying we're the Jewish. Okay? Let's get Jeremiah 17:5.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord. Salakia, verse 4. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Okay. And I will cause thee.
Good. The heritage that the Most High gave us, not the one that someone made up to be, someone decided to call themselves something like and add an ish to it. It's the heritage that the Most High gave us. But we've been caused to be discontinued from the heritage. Finish that up.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
You've been discontinued from your heritage, and as a punishment, you have been caused to serve thy enemy in a land that you know not. Now, there's certain people that feel that they're in a land that they know and that they took possession of, and they're not serving nobody. It's actually the opposite. We are serving them. We're in servitude to our enemies. Wrap that around your head. Okay? So, the true Israelites, according to Scripture, according to the prophet Jeremiah, okay, which the Jewish recognize, said you're going to be discontinued from your heritage and serve your enemies. Okay? And that's to this day, because we're going to go further into this to show you that the prophecies haven't been fulfilled, that we have stopped serving our enemies. Give me Psalms 83, 2 through 4. This is the words of King David, which they do recognize. These are his words.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Now, hold on. They that hate thee. We're the most hated people on the planet. The propagation of hatred towards our people is quite substantial. But we can't cry anti-Semitism when we would rightfully be able to. But we can't cry anti-Semitism. But we've been hated upon. More so than these so-called... Now, yeah, there are other lands, other cultures of people that hate the state of Israel and the people thereof. Okay, we'll give you that. But we don't hate you when you're paying us millions of dollars to write rap music, to dribble a ball, to catch a ball, to throw a ball, to bat a ball. We don't hate you at that point. At that point, blacks, Latinos, and indigenous people, if they so make it into that realm, would be kissing your ass. Is it internal hatred? I don't know. Somebody hands me $1 million, I'll probably love their ass too, right? That's just the way it is. What our people would do for that filthy lucre, right? For that lucrative lifestyle, right? As we spoke on Titus 1 and 11, right? So much so that we'll get our when we're able to broadcast news or opinions like Shaq and Chuck and Stephen A. You know, we may say the things that propagate lies to our people or spread a love-hate relationship with our enemy and hatred towards our so-called brother and throw him quickly under the bus for that $1 million job. All right? Give me Psalms 80 and 11.
Psalms chapter 80, verse 11. She sent out her boughs unto the sea and her branches unto the river.
Now here's where here's where it's going to get deep. Okay? Because here's where we're going to start going into prophecy, into the unique word of the Most High that only resonates with the true children of the Most High. Let's talk about it. What is the bow, and what are the branches? Okay, so I want you. Actually, we lost Brother Yashar for a little bit. I don't know if he lost the signal or he had to run real quick, but I'll get it in the NLT. All right, just bear with me. We're going to Psalms 80, right? And I want you to see this, okay? Psalms 80 and 11. And it reads, we spread our branches west to the Mediterranean Sea. Our shoots spread east to the Euphrates River. Can you go real quick into 2nd Ezra and read the portion how we got to the west via the Euphrates River?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40.
Hold that before you read that. Hey, Brother Yashar, can you get me Isaiah 17 and 6 in the NLT?
Con.
Okay, go ahead.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Okay, get to the part. Did you mention the part of the what waters, what river they traveled to get into the oceans?
No. Verse 41. But they took the counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. And they entered into Perath by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
All right, did you get to the narrow passages of the Euphrates?
Khan.
It mentions the Euphrates, right?
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river.
Okay, so here we got in Psalms 80 and 11. I'll read it again. We spread our branches west of the Mediterranean to the Mediterranean Sea. Our shoots spread east to the Euphrates River. Okay, so you have to understand what the bow and the branches are. The bow is the top head of the vine, right? And then the branches thereof, right? What are the branches? Those are the tribes, right? Spread abroad. Let's get Isaiah 17 and 6. Read it in the King James, and then Yashar read it in the NLT. Isaiah 17 and 6.
Isaiah chapter 17 verse 6. Yet gleaning grapes shall be left in it, as the shaking of an olive tree. 2 or 3 berries in the top of the uttermost bough, 4 or 5 in the outmost fruitful branches thereof, said the Lord God of Israel.
So we got to understand what these branches represent, because people read this Bible, and if it doesn't resonate with them, they take it to be some kind of fairy tale, some kind of just like an anomaly. It doesn't make sense to them. But we're gonna show you what is the synchrony of what's the word I'm looking for, Yashar? Not the acronyms, the similitudes. Salakia. The similitudes that the Most High uses with mountains, branches, trees. All these things are always similitudes to people. Okay, and in this case, we're talking about the children of Israel being the branches, and the bow is the what feeds those branches, right? So let read that in the NLT.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 17 and verse 6. Only a few of its people will be left, like stray olives left on a tree after the harvest. Only 2 or 3 remain in the highest branches, 4 or 5 scattered here and there on the limbs, declares the Lord, the God of Israel.
All right, so here we're going to go into what I was speaking before. We're not supposed to be in the land, right? We're going to be scattered abroad, right? So this is a similitude to what's going to befall the children of Israel. Give me John 15, 1 through 5.
St. John chapter 15, verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Verse 2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Verse 3. Now ye are clean.
So the bowl is nourishing the branches to bear more fruit. That's what the children of Israel are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be spreading the nutrients of this word for the consumption of our people to be edified and bear more fruit. So our job is to spread the truth. So when Kyrie Irving got a hold of it, he felt compelled to want to spread some of that knowledge. And being in the platform that he's in, being in the recognition that he's in, he felt it was his due diligence to provide an avenue for our people to get some information. Now, because of that, it's the #1 selling movie right now on Amazon. Because of that, people may be getting some information, whether you want to call it disinformation or actual information. Let that be in the beholder's eyes, right? But he really believed that his people were going to be gain some nutrients from that information. Instead of him being exemplified or given props for bringing his people forward to getting them off of drugs, getting them off of killing each other, it's showing them something new that should be able to give them hope and give them a sense of pride. Instead, it gets shut down. You're crazy. Shut up and ball, Negro.
Salakia, precept.
Yeah.
This is to Kyrie. Basically, when he's finding out this information, this is Romans 8:16 in the NLT. For the Spirit joins with our spirit, to affirm that we are God's children.
Great precept. Great precept. So when he saw the information, it resonated with him. And I know that we've all felt this feeling that when we get this information, it's something that we cannot hold within. I remember when I first came to this truth, man, I wanted to run to every Negro, Latino, indigenous person that came across my path. And I wanted to tell them so badly, yo, do you understand that you're part of the 12 tribes? You're this tribe, you're that tribe, you're this. Anything that I had in my possession for information, whether I could bust it out like the elders of our people or not, I wanted to get that information out. I'm still probably not as great as the brothers that are putting this work out before me, but I find in my due diligence to put my part into this fight. All right, so go back to John 15, 1 through 5. Let's get out the words of Yahweh Shai. It's red letter, right?
Khan.
Okay.
St. John chapter 15, verse 4. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. Verse 5. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing.
Now here's the catch, man. This is precepting what the prophet Isaiah put out. Okay, so the prophet Isaiah, being the prophet of old, okay, he's backing these words up, giving the explanation of what that vine and branches are. So it's funny how a certain people group consider themselves the branches with no head. We're not the main feeding source, without the main nutrient, which is the bow, which is Christ Yahweh Shai. According to them, the Messiah hasn't come yet. You know, so they're walking around like the headless horseman, right? Branches with no head, right? But we know what we worship. We know what's the example that we need to follow. That's why Christ came for his people, right? That's why he came to the lost sheep of Israel, right? So that we have an example, and that one day we would be awakened to our true selves and understand that we're these branches, and now we have to provide the nutrients. We have to provide that information. It cannot be held within, despite they try to silence us. Okay, so this is why Judah, the Jew, has to be the head of that vine, that bow of the branches, right? Give me Genesis 49, 9 through 10. Now we're going to Torah. We're going to the Torah. And we're going to explain why the head has to be the Messiah. Yeah.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up?
Who shall rouse him up? So guess what? The lion is being roused up. Okay? Who's going to get this stirred up? Go ahead.
Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Why won't the scepter depart from Judah? Why won't the scepter depart from Judah? Why is Judah the head tribe? Because Christ came from the loins of David, from the tribe of Judah. He is the King of the Jews. Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So the people should, even from the beginning of Torah, were prophesied to be scattered. And until he gathered them up, okay, none of this is going to come into culmination for the 12 tribes, to include the Jews. Okay? So, Isaiah 5 and 7. So we could get more context on this vine, on the vineyard. Okay?
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant.
The men of Judah his pleasant plant. Yeah.
And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry.
Right? But behold, a cry. We're his righteous people, but we need to go through the fire, right? Because not all of us are going to get it. Some of us are going to die cooning, like the people that are throwing poor Kyrie under the bus. 2/3 of us need to be thrown into the fire. And even when they see their very demise, they still won't have the understanding of what's going on. So we're not worried about the fact, you know, it's saddening to see. It literally makes me feel some type of way, to tell you the truth, man, to see Paul Kyrie being thrown under the bus. You know, it makes me feel some type of way to see our very own people licking the butt cracks of their enemies for a filthy love of lucre, right? For the love of lucre, right? For that lucrative lifestyle, for that filthy money. Okay? To them, it's not bigger than their careers. But Kyrie said, this is bigger than basketball. So I commend him for that. So while your brothers are throwing you under the bus, you got brothers that are backing you up and holding you up. All right? You got a slew of mighty brothers that are going to lift that bus from under you and hold you up. We got you, bro. So please do not dismay. Okay? Isaiah 27 and 24.
Oh, sure. There's no 24.
21 and 24. What did I say?
27.
No, 27 and 24?
And there's no 21, 24 either.
No, that's Luke. All right, just give me Luke 21 and 24 right now.
Okay.
Till I find what I was looking for.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Yeah. So understand what this is saying. That Jerusalem, the motherland, the promised land, will be trodden down by the Gentiles, and it won't come to fruition. It will not come into a fulfillment till this time be abrupted. It would be come to its end. So, according to what we understand by historicity and what we understand by history, the people that are inhabiting the promised land are those so-called Gentile nations, right? How do we know this? Brother Yashar, give me some history on that Belforat and the migratory patterns of the people that came into the promised land. Well, I looked something up.
Come on, one moment. This is the Balfour Declaration of 1917, and it was established in 1948. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First War, announcing its support for the establishment of a quote-unquote national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Then an Ottoman region with a small minority of Jewish population. The declaration was contained in a letter dated November 2nd, 1917, from the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour, the Lord Rothschild, a leader of the British Jewish community, for transmission to the Zionist Federation of Great Britain and Ireland. The text of the declaration was published in the press on November 9th, 1917, and the letter reads, "Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights of political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation." So this was their plea, to take over the land which they're fighting with the Palestinians with right now. And that's how Israel, the state, which is not supposed to be a state, because actual Israel goes from all the way down to Egypt, Ethiopia, all of the Fertile Crescent. It's Afro-Asiatic, so it's part of Asia and part of Africa and the Middle East. That is all the land of Israel, right? They only have a small portion right now.
But it sounds to me like this land was awarded to a certain people by a certain government and not by the Most High God or or the Messiah.
Con.
So that would be contrary to the prophecies of the scriptures. Okay, so
Also,
again,
it says that the Yahushua is going to gather us up and bring us back to the land.
right,
Whoever's over there, let's say the people that's over there right now was not gathered by Yahushua
right.
and brought back to that land. So
It
that
sounds like it was
doesn't
the
even
British
fit.
government.
They don't fit the prophecy.
Right. So let's get Nahum 1 and 15.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 15. Behold, upon the mountains, the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publish peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feasts, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off.
So the wicked needs to be utterly cut off, so that no one can trample through our land or through our people. So you got to understand that these people are constantly being threatened. Part of their land is been taken over by the Arabs in Palestine. Okay, so according to this passage, there's no fulfillment of a prophecy for them to even be there. Okay, let's go to Malachi 1 and 4. So again, do we call this disinformation? The Ark just read historical facts on how they were established as a statehood in the so-called promised land. Okay? This is not disinformation. He's reading from historical, actual facts that happened that gave the Jewish people a statehood in Israel. Go ahead.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build.
So there was an impoverished people that said, I'm going to build the desolate places. We've already gone through some precepts showing that the land had to be made desolate of the people. That was a curse upon the Israelites, that they be scattered throughout the earth. But not there. That place was left desolate. But Edom decided to take the desolate places and build it. And from there they have built throughout the earth. Okay? So these people are highly built up. Go ahead, read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Right. So no matter how powerful they become, how rich they become, how much they will build, the Most High is going to have the last say on this. So how much you try to cancel people, no matter how much you try to silence people, the word is going to get out, because by the power that be, or the power of the universe, has this all under control, and he's going to have the last word. And if you build up, he's going to throw it down eventually. Okay? Because you are the border of wickedness. Who is the border of wickedness? Okay? Maybe we are, right? Maybe we're not saying the truth. Maybe we're the liars, right? Don't get your panties in the bunch. Chalk it, point the finger at us. It's what you've been doing, calling us crazy. Go ahead, call us crazy. But call every man a liar and God be true. Okay? And so God has the last word. And it says, and I'll paraphrase, where it's not said that ye are my people, is where it's going to be declared that we're the children of the living God. Okay? Go ahead. You done with that?
So, you go with that, Maltazak?
Yeah, that was it on that.
I don't know if you guys are going to read this later, if you have it lined up later from the 13 Tribes book.
Yeah, we got those. We were going to bring those out. I got, if you're going to bring it out now, that's fine. I'm going to share my screen because I have them ready to show. Because I wanted to make that point. If we were going to bring that out, if by the Spirit you're trying to bring it out now, that's great because maybe I lost my track where I was going to squeeze that in, but I want to make this point before you say that.
Come on.
Kyrie got flack, and I'm just pinging off of what Alazar already said from the Sakari, okay? And he already said that. He already said something to this effect, and I just want to re-utter it, but I'm not going to give myself credit. And for that matter, I'm not going to give himself credit because all this is done by the Spirit of the Most High. All praises to the Most High for that. But what he said was, Kyrie's getting flack for what a Negro put out as information to Negro people, Black, Indigenous, and Latinos, right? For information to understand who we are as the children of Israel. But this information's been put out by Caucasian men prior to this information coming out now. We're just building off of information that was already put out by Caucasian men. Now, I don't know of the history of how they got shunned for putting this information, or if they did, but the information's been out. But like Kyrie said, right, and most of us say, you want to hide the truth from Blacks, Latinos, and Indigenous people? Put it in a book. So they have the records. We just started reading. That's the problem. And they don't need no Negroes reading, writing, and putting out information. No, you just play ball, you rap, you reggaeton, and you do what you do best, or drink yourself to death in the reservations. That's why we gave you that and gave you liquor at a cheap cost, so you can just mess your whole world up. But don't get involved in the world that we control. Okay, I think Yashar lost us. While he comes back, let me try to share my screen. And let me see. It's been a minute. So present, extra slides, video, share screen. Okay. Allow. Okay, what's going on? All right. I'm just having issues with sharing the screen. I don't know what's going on. It's saying that the browser that I'm using is not going to allow me to do that. So no problem. We got the information. We're going to bring it out. I'm going to see if Yashar comes back in a minute and let him present that. And we'll close out with the last few precepts that we got anyway. So give me Job 9 and 24. So basically what Brother Yashar was going to do, he was going to show proof. We have plenty of literature. I mean, that's what brothers in the truth do. We've learned to study to show ourselves approved. So we have plenty of literature. We have plenty of literature to slews of literature to back up our claims. So we're just not going to talk out the side of our necks like, how dare you, Stephen A. Smith, say that, or try to insinuate that Kyrie was not knowledgeable on the information that he was getting, or anybody else for that matter, because this is what we do. We teach each other. And it's obvious that you're too busy looking up stats, looking at film on every athlete that you report on, that you don't have time to actually study who you are on the earth. You don't have time to look up something bigger than what you represent, or the information that you putting out. So like that, like the word said, right? You're content in teaching folly, which what does sports really? You know, I like sports. I like to watch basketball. I like to play basketball. I like to watch football on Sundays sometimes. You know what I mean? When I have the time, you know. And so I enjoy it. But is it really enriching me? Is it really? How is sports really enriching anyone's life? Other than maybe you could say to a certain extent, it may provide some kind of structure to get people out of the ghettos, right? But what most of these athletes are doing, they're making the money that empower them to be ghetto fabulous. Is what it's doing, because you're never going to get the ghetto out of them, right? Because that's how they've been brought up. So now they've been given access to the money, because the information that's being put out there, the follies that are being propagated to our people, is to drink, smoke, dance, coon, jive, have unsolicited sex, everything that's wrong with our people. That's what our lifestyles are. That's the promotion to our lifestyle. That's what's being promoted to our lifestyle, right? So when we just get when we get that bag, you know, when we get that bag full of money, right? What we want to do? We want to fulfill that lifestyle to the fullest. We're not thinking about like the ones and twosies that are get some sort of consciousness, like Kyrie, like Kanye, like you know, Colin Kaepernick, despite you know, and others that have come forward. Nick Cannon then had to retract himself and lick a whole line of crack, right? And I'm not talking cocaine. Okay, so you know, when we get that back, all we know is how to act the fool. So when we got brothers that are actually taking the time to despite that lucrative lifestyle that they've been given access to, and take the time to be bigger than themselves, that's commendable. And instead of commending the brother for doing so, he gets vilified. Now you're just a nut job. Now you overstepped your boundaries. And they're literally saying, nigga, shut up and ball. That's basically what they're saying. All right. You got that?
Con.
24.
Is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Okay? So ask yourself, who's covered the faces of our judges? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses, all the prophets of old. Covered them with white paint, baby angels on the roofs of cathedrals, and worst of all, the Messiah himself. Who covereth the face of judges? Who is the most wicked, bloodthirsty vampire on the planet? The scripture is posing the question so that you can think about it and ask, who truly is the wicked of the planet? All right? Read that again one more time, huh?
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So we're not in rulership. Okay? Think of who's in rulership. Go ahead.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Who covers the faces of everything, right? Who's the one that gives us all the propaganda and all the bullshit? And why you got to do this and why you got to do that? Why you got to cover your face? Why you don't have to? Why you got to get yourself stuck here and there? Why you got to, everything that they propagate is a cover up. Go ahead.
If not, where and who is he?
Right? And it's all a distraction so that you can't really figure out where and who is he. Okay? But ask yourself again, who's the most bloodthirsty vampire on the planet? Who has killed more people? Hey, yeah, man. We got black on black crime, brown on brown crime. We're killing each other. But ask yourself, is it to the proportions of over 300 million and counting? Think about that. Who shed the blood of the innocents to obtain everything that they have? Through war, warmongering, slavery. So that's what you should be asking yourself. And how do these scriptures line up and who they coincide to? Who are they really describing? Okay? Both the wicked and the true. Okay? Ezekiel 36 and 5. You got those excerpts from those books ready, Yashar? Because we lost you for a second. All right, bring that out, Doc.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession,
okay,
with the joy of all their heart.
So this is stating that a certain people would appoint themselves the land that didn't belong to them, and it was the Idumeans. And if you look at by history, the Idumeans are the heathen. They are that border of wickedness. They are the bloodline of the heathen. Okay, the Idumeans wind up being the Edomites, and the Edomites and the Amalekites are a subdivision of that. Okay, so not to go into these biblical descriptions of these people and who they are, we're giving you the clues to figure out who they are. We already told you who is doing this. Who is the border of wickedness? Who is that bloodthirsty vampire? That's your Idumean, Amalekite, Edomite of today. You figure it out so that we don't spread any disinformation. Just use common logic. Okay? You're good with that one, right?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, brother. We lost you for a second.
All right. Yeah, man. My phone died. I had to load up my computer. So.
Okay. So you got those excerpts you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, let me get it real quick.
All right, because I'm gonna finish with these last two precepts. These are two good ones to finish out, and so we'll let you chime in with the excerpts. So like I was just trying to break down to the audience, the future audience, because we've been getting ones and twosies. We're not blown up like 1,000 viewer type people in one shot, but we pray the Most High that this information gets to the right people. That's what it's designed for. Like I say, I'm not trying to convert. I always say this. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm just trying to get to the ears of the lost sheep of Israel, and that's it. Okay? All right, so bring those excerpts up.
All right, let me get through. All right, this is from the book, The 13th Tribe, page 16 and 17.
And let me just show you real quick. Let me get that because for some reason the browser that I'm using wasn't letting me share my screen, but brother Matasak we were already prepping for it. I know you're getting kind of like a little shine. Let me see if I could cut the shine off of one of these lamps. And see, this book has already been out. No, man, I can't. Man, there you go. All right, so this book has been out. Okay, this is what's the copyright on this?
Copyright is. Let me see.
And this is by author. The author is Arthur Koestler.
Koestler.
Okay. All right. So on top of that, it wasn't written by a brown man. So let's not. We can't. There's nobody to vilify now. Okay.
I mean, the thing about it's written by their own people. So
right.
This is their own people like bringing it out on them.
He's an Amalekite.
He's a Jewish.
Okay. So bring it up. Bring it up by
page 16 and page 17.
Mm-hmm.
This was written before the full extent of the Holocaust was known, but that does not alter the fact that the large majority of the surviving Jews in the world is of Eastern European, and thus perhaps mainly of Khazar origin. If so, this would mean that their ancestors came not from the Jordan, but from the Volga, not from Canaan, but from the Caucasus, once believed to be the cradle of the Aryan race, and that genetically they are more closely related to the Hun, Uyghur, Magyar tribes than to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Should this turn out to be the case, then the term anti-Semitism would become void of meaning.
Whoa. Good.
Based on a misapprehension shared by both the killers and the victim, the story of the Khazar Empire, as it slowly emerges from the past, begins to look like the cruelest hoax which history has ever perpetuated.
They cover the faces of the judges, right?
That's the biggest lie. That's why they're known in Revelation 2 and 9 as the synagogue of Satan, because Satan deceiveth the world. They've literally deceived the whole world in thinking that they're the Jews, and they're not.
Okay. And the world still believes this, right? Because you got everybody fighting tooth and nail. How dare you? How dare you speak against these people, right? Okay. That's it for that, brother?
Yeah, that was it on that.
Yeah. And and then there's more books to corroborate what that was said. Because
actually, I got a little more. I got one more.
There's Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders as well. That says similar things to corroborate the origins of the Khazarians and as well as the origins of the true Israelites. Go ahead.
Let me see. Where'd it go? Actually, no, that was it. That's blocking.
You got a couple, because I was trying to show that, through my phone, that these were actual excerpts, but the glare on it is not allowing me to show it. And like I said, I'm sorry that we couldn't show it physically, but we're physically reading it from these two books. Okay, so this is information that was already established. Okay, so the fact that they're saying that this new information of us exposing the true identity of the people that are in the land and the true identity of the people that are outside of the land, giving it that exposure would be anti-Semitism. Again, we cannot be anti ourselves. We are Shemitic people as well. Even if we're not the children of Israel, like I said, there's other people outside of the 12 tribes, outside of the so-called Jewish community, outside of the Jew nation or the Israelite nation, that are Shemites and are Israelites. But us making the claim that we're Israelites, how can we be anti ourselves? Okay. And that's what Kyrie Irving was saying. How can I be how are you pinning this label on me as an anti-Semitist that would be saying that I'm against myself? Because I know where I come from. I've already established the knowledge and done the historical research to understand that I am the true embodiment of what an Israelite is, according to the descriptions of the scriptures, archaeology, history, documents. It all points to more a person like Kyrie than it would point to the people that are in an uproar about it. The uproar is about they don't want to be exposed. Because after they made their life, their riches, their power, their strength from propagating this culture, how could they want to take the downfall of being exposed? Then the fear is that they fear that it would all come tumbling down, which we're not going to do it. Well, why are you afraid of us? We're not financially, militarily, in any shape or form ready to combat our enemies. We patiently wait for the Messiah to return to handle that. So what you're afraid of? Or seek your Messiah, right? The Caucasian looking Messiah that you got lined up to come out as that Messiah, and sick him on us. Why are you in uproar? You should be chilling too. If you feel that you're the true Jew on the planet, then you should have a Messiah that's going to come fight for you too. So why you need to tear it down on the little people? Because despite all the wealth that Kyrie Irving has, Kanye has, they're just niggas with money. You feel that you got power over them anyway. So you don't need to get in an uproar or your panties in a bunch. You should have a Messiah that should fight for you too. We'll see, right? Like the scripture says, right? We'll put my God up against your God, and we'll see who wins. All right, let's wrap this up. Matthew 23 and 30, speaking of the Messiah. All right, Matthew 23, 37 and 38.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not.
So this is saying, our own people will throw our people time and time under a bus. And we take care of scattering ourselves, man. And we're scatterbrains ourselves, right? Because we will constantly fight each other than fight the powers that be, right? And it takes a king, a Messiah, to come and gather us together, to unify us in under one front, right? So we patiently wait for that Messiah to come again and handle that for us, okay? And for you Christians that say, oh man, you guys are full of it or whatever, the Apocrypha is not valid. It's funny because these same words were uttered. This next verse, give me 2 Ezra 1 and 30, validates the New Testament in conjunction with the Apocrypha. Right?
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 1, verse 30. I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chicks under her wings. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face.
So for you guys that don't want to accept the truth and you want to accept the hand of your enemy, you want to walk hand in hand with your enemy, you're going to be thrust through, okay? You're going to be cast out by that same Messiah that's going to gather his chicks, right? He's going to feed nutrients to that branch that is bringing forth fruit. Those that are keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God to reap our reward through our King. Patiently we wait. So need not worry, Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, and for all you other brothers that flaked out and just like have felt that you've had to retract your words, that you have had to fold. Shame on you. You have something that's much bigger than you. You could have tapped into the most powerful entity in the universe. You had that backing you up, and you folded. So those are, unfortunately, the type of people that caved in and couldn't endure to the end. And the scripture says, he that endureth to the end. So I only pray that our brother Kyrie, our brother Kanye, and other brothers that have come out to stand up for the truth. Give me this one last precept, man. Who will stand up for me? So, I pray that you continue. You continue strong. You don't fold. You endure to the end.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
All right. So stand strong, Yasharallah. With that being said, I want to say Kwam Yasharallah. We'll keep it at 2 hours, man. It's impossible to have this kind of dialogue and knock it out in about 45 minutes, an hour. It's just impossible. So we'll keep it at 2 hours. We're at 1:55 now. And with that being said, we want to give all honor, glory, and praises to our God and our Savior, Kahala, Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Mamalak, Adawan, Yahweh Shai, our King, Barakatah. So with that, man, we'll see you on the flip side. We'll be having camp tomorrow. Look forward to probably part 3. I think, Yashar, we still got that the little Huffy Puffy Cop video to come out soon. We're gonna call it Midget Cop Wanna Tussle or something like that. We'll leave it to Yashar to edit that.
We're gonna drop it pretty soon. We gotta get them views up though.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll be looking forward to some of that, and probably what we're gonna do tomorrow in camp. It'll come out shortly as well. And so we out there banging it out for the Most High, banging it out for our people, and we just call for the uplifting of our people, the rising of our people. Kwam Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala. We just want to just show some love and support for our brother Kyrie that's going through it right now. But you know what? The end is near. Go ahead. What's up?
I just said Khan.
So we just want to show him some love, man, because he's going through it. They want to fold the brother. They want him licking boots, man. But we already know who's gonna kiss and lick the dust off our feet. Kwam Yashua.
Let me get one last one.
Bring it out, man. Enjoy it, man.
Forgot to bring this one out earlier. Psalms 37.
You see that the vigor and the zeal that we have to want to continue bringing out information to our people, uplift our people, man. What's the damage in that, man? Why is it damaging? It's damaging because it's damaging to the falsehood that certain people have propagated, and the falsehood and the lies and the covering up of valid information that we're bringing out. Us and all the brothers that are doing the good work. They're doing good work.
This is to the brother Kyrie, man. Hold your head up, man. The Most High is with you. This is Psalms 37, and I'm gonna start at 23. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand.
All right. So if you want, Brother Kyrie, just extend that hand. Your brothers got you, and most importantly, your God got your back. And that goes for any brother that wants to stand up for the truth. Who will stand up for me? Stand up, Kwam Yasharala. Let's get it.
Kwam Yasharala.
Shalom Yasharala. Shalom.
Yes.